Did you know the first hockey pucks were made from frozen cow manure and leather liver pads? Well, today I'm here to inform you about the fundamentals of ice hockey. First, we'll go over when hockey started. Next, we'll talk about the roster, or how I like to refer it as the anatomy of a hockey team. And finally, the hockey teams currently in the NHL. Today, I'm here to inform you about the fundamentals of ice hockey. First, when did hockey start? Well, according to the International Ice Hockey Federation, the first organized hockey game was played on March 3rd, 1875, between two teams of 9 people at Montreal's Victorian Skate Park. In the 1700s, during wintertime in England, a game called bandy was played on frozen ice with iron skates. What they referred to was very similar to hockey. I first became introduced to ice hockey around the age of 9 or 10. We were living in Texas at the time, and my dad took me to my first Dallas Stars game. I knew nothing about hockey. I wasn't interested in hockey. I love football and I love baseball. Um, so I didn't really truly fall in love with the game until I was about 17 years old. It was during the 2008 season when I started following the Boston Bruins. They played well that season. They were scoring goals. That team caught my eye, and ever since then I fell in love with them. Unfortunately, they didn't make it to the Stanley Cup playoffs that year, but they did come close, and a few years later ended up winning it. Next, we'll go over the roster. Taken from the article The Hockey Writers, a team consists of 20 players. 18 players are considered skaters, and 2 of them are goalies. 12 of those skaters are forwards, and 6 of them are defensemen. These players are broken up into 4 lines, which consist of 5 players. 3 of those players are forwards. You have a center, you have a left, and a right forward, whose sole purpose is to attack the goal. Then you have your 2 defensemen who usually hang in the back at the blue line and make sure the opponent doesn't attack your goal. I played a little outdoor hockey for a couple summers. I was a defenseman, so that's when I really understood a lot of the roles. Understood like my role as a defenseman and other roles of different players and their positions. Lastly, hockey teams in the NHL. The Canadian Encyclopedia states there are currently 32 teams, 7 teams in Canada, and 25 in the United States. Out of these 32 teams, they are broken up into 2 major conferences. You have your Eastern Conference and your Western Conference. The Eastern Conference is broken up into 2 subdivisions, the Atlantic and Metropolitan Division. And then you have your Western Conference, which is also broken up into 2 divisions, the Central and the Pacific. I love watching hockey. Between the months of October and April, you can find me at a hockey game or even watching it on TV. Doesn't matter. I go to as many games as I can. Whether I like that team or not, I go just because I love the sport. However, whenever my Boston Bruins are in town, I am at every game. When they're playing the Ducks in Anaheim, when they're playing the Kings in Los Angeles, even sometimes make my way down to San Jose to watch them play the Sharks. That is my team, and through thick and thin, I will support them and cheer them on and wear my sweaters or jerseys with pride. In conclusion, I spoke to you about when hockey was born. Next, I talked about the roster and what it consists of. And finally, I told you about how many teams were in the NHL. Thank you for taking the time to listen to my speech about the fundamentals of ice hockey. My name is Devin.